Yusuf Estes, and I'm looking for something. Actually, I'm looking for someone. Is that someone you? I want Dawah partners, and you can be my Dawah partner right now. It's real easy. Just go to dawahpartners.com, sign up, and join me. There are 3 things that I would like for you to be able to do. Any one of them or all of them. Beautiful. Number 1, you will make dua. So you can be our Dawah partner, even if you don't go to the website, but I hope you do. Number 2, share. Share this message and let other people know about becoming Dawah partners. And number 3, help us financially. Donate on a monthly basis, even if it's small. Allah loves the thing that you do regularly, even if it's small, more than the thing that you do that's really big, but you only do it once. Join me as a Dawah partner. Do it now. Click, 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 click.
A way of life, a way of life, a way of life, a way of life. Islam is a way of life, a complete way.
The wise old owl says we all need guidance in our life. So remember, get guided with Guide Us TV.
And we're coming to you almost live from our, well, but yeah, okay, wherever we are. And we say almost live because there's always a latency in the broadcast, so it could be anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds behind the actual live broadcast. With that being said, let's get started with tonight's program, and I'll bring in our guest. We do have a guest with us tonight. We have Sister Kim. Sister Kim, salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. I like how you redecorated.
Oh, well, yeah, you saw that on the monitor, right?
Right.
Yeah, well, you know, just a little spiff and polish. Yeah, all right. Well, the nice thing about this, you can always pack it up real easy. You don't have to pay a big mover. Anyway, so I was looking at some of the different ideas for tonight's program, and I ran across some very interesting things that it seems like the New York Times has a thing in it against the Democratic Party. I didn't realize that they were taking sides, especially that not to just blow it out there like that. Have you heard anything about this, sister?
No, I haven't. And I'm a subscriber of the Times.
I am too. That's how I got it. Anyway, I think that somebody should look into that. Maybe it's just me, but it seemed that they were really hammering the Democrats in a way that something that happened 5 years ago. And there was an attorney representing a client, all right, who was a Democrat. And they didn't even say what. It just said that this attorney has been accused now by the FBI of lying to them under about a testimony, and but it doesn't say what or who. It says, and he is a loyal supporter of the Democrats. What the heck? And it emphasized that over and over. It's like, well, okay, yeah, okay, because you know what that will do is if you said Republicans or if you said Democrats, either way, whenever you're talking about something that's kind of wishy-washy from 5 years ago, and you want to label it with the party that the guy supports or he's real dedicated to that party. Maybe he was at that time, who knows? But I mean, what that does is it sets the worst example that I can think of turning a country upside down, because you get people right away, I'm with the Democrats. No, I'm with yeah, and then you get people fighting and brawling and killing and doing everything. It is the worst kind of chaos that I can think of. What is your take on it?
Well, there's been a large spate of that happening within broadcasting.
Democrat is a new communist.
I just heard something here, sister. I just got this official from our side anyway. It says that the Democrats are the new communists, that they have to be regarded as the replacement for whatever you felt against communism. We don't feel like that anymore because, you know, we're hunky-dory with the Russians now and with Putin and all of that.
I think the Democrats were supposed to be socialists.
Well, I really don't know what to think about this. It looks to me like this is not the way to go about trying to make our country really get up and get out and do the good things. We're supposed to be all on the same page. And as long as there's infighting, then you're never going to be successful. That's definitely a house divided against itself. It's an old expression, but it's right there in front of us right now. Whenever you have internal disruption and chaos, like the Civil War that we had, we're pushing toward that kind of a thing again.
We definitely are, and I know exactly what international media would say about this from their opinion standpoint, is that one of the greatest failures of the American system is that we're a two-party system, which is practically unheard of in other democratic societies, or even partially democratic societies, where they have multiple parties in the system. You don't have one side against the other. You've still got infighting because you've got various groups, but it's much harder for the two sides to just gang up on each other and make a direct divide.
Well, I don't know anything about that area because I'm not schooled in that. But it seems to me that whenever you have this division going on out in the streets and you see people challenging each other, and under normal circumstances, maybe they would be fighting over sports or something like that. But when you get into the politics, that's really tough. I recall one of the things that a brother told me one time. He said, in our country, wherever he was from, he said there were three things that they always tell us don't talk about. Don't get into it. Don't get into it. Not at work, not at your sports, and not, wherever you're sitting at a bar or something like that. Don't bring up these three subjects. Number one is politics. Number two, religion. Number three, sports. Yeah, because people will fight over that. They just go crazy. And I think that that's something that we should avoid at all costs.
Yeah, that, like I was saying before, it's something that's become more and more prevalent in reporting, to report on a person's political leanings. And, the New York Times might have not necessarily had the, just to play devil's advocate a little bit, the intention of outing this person as a Democrat to discredit him or something like that. But it could have been that this lawyer is going to be going up against a Trump-appointed judge who is almost all Republicans. And so it could...
Yeah.
So, their intention might not have been to point fingers and say, look, this guy, he did something wishy-washy and he's a Democrat. They could have just been reporting that as saying what he's going to be up against in his trial. I don't know. I have not read the article.
Yeah, that could very well be. And it could be just the journalist's point of view, the way that they presented it. It may not be I was about to cancel my subscription not because I have one party over the other, but because I have the interest of our country. I want our country to be number one in everything that we do. And right now, the only thing we're number one in is the number of people dying for the pandemic, percentage-wise.
Yes. I don't know if you've heard this, not to change the subject, but they announced yesterday that 1 in 500 people in the U.S. has died of COVID.
Oh my God. That doesn't sound, no, that would be 2 out of 1,000. That doesn't make sense. That would be 2 out of 1,000, 20 out of 10,000, and 200 out of 100,000. Nah, I hope not. I hope
not too.
I hope that's some bogus numbers there.
I hope it is too. But that's what they were reporting. Got it out of the Washington Post.
Oh, okay. Well, the news don't lie.
They never do.
Anyway, yeah, I really want the folks here to get over the idea of the Trump administration's so-called, make America great again. Because I think that the greatest that we ever were is at any time that we all pulled together and shared the load and helped each other out. But that's what I'd like to see us be back at doing. And we're not doing that. When we start getting into the pro-life, abortion kind of a thing, and making it a public issue, and especially when it's only one state that has done this, have canceled something. I think it's Texas that canceled a ban on abortions. Is that right?
They have a ban on abortions after 6 weeks, and they have what makes this law unique is that they have appointed the citizenry to sue people who get or abet abortions for up to $10,000. So if you are, for example, an Uber driver that drives a woman to an abortion clinic, you can be sued for facilitating an abortion.
Whoa, whoa. That does not make any sense. And I'll tell you why. Because whenever you call for an Uber car, I know this because we had the problem with the Muslim drivers for Uber, and they were asking me, if am I going to be held responsible in front of a law because somebody asked me to pick them up and take them to the store, and we take them over to the store, and then they come out with their groceries, and we're going to take them back. And we discovered that they've got alcohol in their what they bought. Well, I don't think an Uber driver or any driver is going to ask you, well, what are you going to do and what are you going to do when you get there? Somebody calls up and says, take me over to this clinic. Okay, I'll take them to the clinic. I don't understand how that could be a situation, sister. What do you think?
Well, Uber is taking it quite seriously, and they have said that they will pay for the legal aspects of any Uber driver that's charged with it.
Okay, well, that sounds fair. I like that idea. But I don't think that anybody should be charged with anything, because somebody calls you up and asks you to take them somewhere, and why all of a sudden you got to get in their business about it? That doesn't make any sense. That really doesn't.
Yeah, and that's a big argument that people that even are pro-choice are having, is that this law encourages basically the spying on your neighbor, and it has a real possibility of affecting people's personal freedoms. You know, I mean, let's say, for example, I went to a women's clinic, and I was going to a women's clinic for my annual breast exam. You know, but my neighbor thought I went to the women's clinic for an abortion, and suddenly she sues me. You know, I mean, then it's getting into my medical business on the public forum.
That this is really starting to sound bad for our country all the way around. Spying on each other, hating each other, fighting with each other. It's the dream come true for anybody that's really the enemy of America. The enemies of America, I think, can do a whole lot more by twisting and turning the news and playing with that than they can by blowing up buildings. And they get away with that a lot easier too. I mean, you know, you can trace where these bombs came from and the explosives came from, but how can you trace, oh, you know, somebody posted it over here on this website, somebody over here on social media, somebody over here in the news called in and said such, and they can get away with that. And that's equivalent to murder, because you're murdering our country.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, Facebook just announced today that they are working on new procedures to lower the bar for reasons that you can be banned from Facebook. And the reason is because they've got people making so many fake accounts to spread, you know, conspiracy theories and things like that. And so already, you know, just in my personal dealings on the website, I would say at least once a week, I hear of somebody that just got out of what they call Facebook jail, meaning they got banned from Facebook for a period of time because of something that they said. And the things that people are getting banned over already are kind of ridiculous. I know one person who got banned because they called somebody else a parrot. And
wait a minute, you mean like the bird, the parrot?
Like the bird, like you would say that you're parroting something.
Yeah.
If you're repeating what somebody else says, they said that somebody else in this Facebook post was a parrot, and they got banned for 30 days. So already Facebook's strictures for what you can be suspended or banned over are quite high, but they say they have to make it even stricter from people making false accounts.
Well, you know, there were over 20 accounts that were not me, but they all said they were me. And when I sent to each one of the accounts and asked them to shut them down, please, in a nice way. And only one, I think, out of all of them actually responded and turned it over to us for dawah, because after all of that, it looks like it doesn't work. What they're looking at, and I'm here to tell you, one of the things that they actually pulled one of our broadcasts off and said that we were copying something. And I was like, what are we copying? What do we have? And then another time, they a background sound that we had from maybe 12, 15 years ago. It's been on, we used it even before we had Guidance TV, when we had Watch Islam. And they said that this is a copyrighted, and it's an introduction to a theme that the artist gave me himself. He's a Muslim in another country, and he said, "Yo, go ahead and use the whole thing." And I said, "Oh, no, I just want the first part of it. It's got like a drum beat in it, And this surprises me. And many times, I say many times, maybe every 4 or 5 months, I have to show my credentials to get them to turn it back on. I think you saw me trying to do that one time, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that's Facebook.
Yeah, and they're going to make it even harder now for, yes, there is a problem with people making up a name, going on there and sharing conspiracy theories. I won't say it's not a problem, but it's going to make it much more difficult for legitimate broadcasters and people who share content with the intention of spreading knowledge. If somebody doesn't agree with you, bam, they hit the report button. It's not even checked by a person. They just assume that the report is accurate, and they take the content down, and it's very difficult to fight it.
Well, I found something here, and let me put it up on the screen. This is what it says. How long are the Facebook bans? It says, how long a Facebook ban can last depends on what you violated and how often. For repeat offenses, the block can last up to 30 days. But it's not the worst part. In certain circumstances, an account can be banned permanently with no way to unlock it. I didn't know that till just now. Now let's see what else. I think this is a valuable thing for us to do, because, we use Facebook for our broadcast too. So I want to know what they say here. Let's see what they got. Now, I'm going to have to realign this thing because it's too difficult for me to try to deal with it. I want to get all of the words in there on the screen. Yeah, here we go. Okay, what can get you banned on Facebook? Here we go. It said 5 things that can get you banned from Facebook. What gets you banned? All right. What words get you banned on Facebook? I didn't know this. Facebook will remove content where the user posts a degrading physical description, including someone disgusting and repulsive. Secret documents reveal. Moderators are told to remove calling an individual's appearance ugly, disgusting, repulsive, and so on, according to documents seen on the Wall Street Journal. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that actually does make sense to me. this really does make sense to me, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't think that it's very nice to say things like that. You can say somebody is overweight, and if it's a fact, or that they're very thin, if that's a fact, I think. I'm not telling you what Facebook says. I'm just telling you about my feelings on this. But if anybody would like to call us and talk to us about this, this is a great chance to let the steam out. If you've got some problem here, if you've got a problem with us, or if you've got a problem with what's going on in the world, call us up. That's why we have the phone line, 1-800-971-4383. 1-800-971-4383. Just give us a call and let's talk about it. All right. Now, we're talking about what's here on the Facebook, what kind of bands that they've got. How do you lift the band if you get it? Okay, well, that's a good question there. Let's see what this says. It says that yeah, the block, if the block is temporary, but it can't be lifted for any reason, Facebook is a place for connecting with friends, family, etc. Okay, we know what it does. It receives signals from the community, and that may establish limits to the behavior of other people. All right. Now, I do know that when somebody sends something very offensive or something that, especially Muslims in different countries, will post something attacking Muslims in our country, and I just delete it right away, block them right away, because there's no reason to open up this kind of a World War III kind of a thing on the internet. Let's see. It does say, here's the thing about the Facebook jail. It says, how can you tell if a friend is in a Facebook jail? I didn't even think about this. This is how you know you've landed in Facebook jail, all right? You lost your account's ability to post on your timeline or any other pages or groups. You're not able to like anyone else's posts or pictures. You cannot comment anywhere on social platform. You are blocked from accessing your page or your account. Oh, wow, that's Facebook jail, okay. So how do you tell if a friend is in the Facebook jail? Well, okay, we already read that. How do you report? Hey, there you go. How do you find out who reported you to Facebook? You can't. All right, well, that's not much of a question, is it? Well, yeah, that's not a surprise. So I think that when we're talking about the social media, they're probably pressed between a rock and a hard place. Because on the one hand, they're trying to stay in business, and the other hand, that they've got an explosive opportunity for people to just go crazy on each other. And maybe they're like me, that saying that that's not a good thing for us here in this country or in the world itself. And
well, that's one of the things that they are very concerned about, and has been brought up before the Senate numerous times and will probably be brought up again, is how responsible are social media sites for the content that is shown on them. So if I was to, for example, put up a post, and I'm going to say this very clearly for anybody that's listening, I am not recommending this. I am saying this as an example, saying that cough drops were a cure for COVID. And somebody believed me. And so they took cough drops for COVID and they died. would that social media site be responsible because they found the content on their page?
Well, I don't know if they'd be responsible, but I would definitely like to see them police that up, because whenever anybody talks about COVID, and they've blocked us several times because we've had the doctors, medical doctors that are involved in it on a day-to-day basis, that we didn't bring any opinions from ourselves, but people started complaining to them, and they blocked our whole page on the Facebook for a while. Well, of course, we're on satellite television, so that's our big thing, but still, I don't want us to be blocked from anything, even one person getting to see about Islam, ask questions about Islam. I like to keep that door open as much as we can.
Yeah, we definitely do. And that's one of the things that I've been watching very carefully is, of course, on Facebook, I've got a lot of friends that are Muslim from all over the world. And quite a few of them are weighing in on their opinions on what's going on in Afghanistan. And I've been watching very carefully to see if any of them get banned for saying anything in support of or against the Taliban. And so far, I haven't seen it. But by the same respect, if you say something negative against a political opponent here in the United States, if I say I don't like, we'll just say Governor Newsom in California, he was just up for recall vote. And so I said, I don't like Governor Newsom, and, I think he's this. Bam, I can be gone off Facebook in an instant.
Actually, sister, I'd like to share with you something that Islam has a sort of a, I don't know if you call it a protocol or the way that you deal with a subject. You mentioned you're not saying this, but what if I did? And then you say this about the cough syrup or cough drops and so on. Actually, that is exactly how people get in trouble, because they refer to themselves, well, you suppose I went out here and did this and did that, and they're saying the opposite, but they're using themselves as an example. In Islam, that is very frowned on to do that. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
You never mention yourself, especially in questions to the sheikh. When you're asking a sheikh a question, you don't say, oh, I did this or I did that or so-and-so and what if I do this and what if I do that? No. You just say a person. You keep referring to a person. If a person did so-and-so, don't say they did it. Just said, if a person did so-and-so, then what would the Islam say about it? And if a person didn't do so-and-so, what would Islam say about it? That way, the sheikh is not committed to you to know, be involved in what they call the secrecy. What is it called in the Catholic Church when people they go to their priest and tell him everything?
Confession.
Yeah, but whenever you give a that's exactly what it is. It's a confession. And sometimes if somebody catches one of these people that have been confessed to, they grab a priest or a bishop and start torturing him, because not everybody's like the United States government. And actually, the United States isn't like the United States either if you're not one of us, quote unquote. If you're in the United States illegally, then they feel like that they can do anything they want to you, because you're not from here, so we don't have to follow our laws. I didn't know that until this recently. I learned that if you're not an American citizen, they can do anything they want to you. Especially, that's why they wanted to go to Guantanamo. I found that out too, that they wanted to go to Guantanamo because they could use all kinds of tortures there that they can't use in the United States.
Well, it's
Wow.
amazing what they can do in the United States anyways. I was just reading about this in the paper today, how there is an influx of refugees coming over from Haiti, and they've got nowhere to put them in Texas. So they are literally housing them under a bridge.
Oh, wait a minute. Here in America?
Yes, it's happening in Texas.
Refugees under a bridge. Let me see if I can type that in and see what will happen. Oh my gosh. Well, there it is. You are sure right. Look at this. This is a full, NBC has something about it. The New York Times has something about this. And CBS Local 4. That's all in Texas, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that bridge. Where is that bridge? It says International Bridge in Del Rio. Yeah, Del Rio. Let me see if I can work that out to put it up in a decent way that everybody can see it better. This is amazing. I did not realize that was the case. There's the picture right there. Oh, we got to take a break, sister. I just realized that. Tell everybody what they need to do.
You got to stay tuned and stay guided with Guidus TV.
There you go.
Guidus TV, first Islam channel in U.S.
Thanks to all of you for watching, sharing, and spending your time with us on Guidus TV. And remember, tell everyone, stay guided with Guidus TV.
Stay guided with Guidus TV.
And we're back, and we have been talking about a wide variety of subjects tonight, basically coming down to the rights in the United States. What we have is the right to communicate and, give information, and when giving too much information might be a problem. And this has drifted over a little bit into what the rights of non-citizens are in the United States. And just before the break, we were talking about how right now in Texas, they are holding Haitian migrants under a bridge as a temporary staging area because there's so many of them. Now, just to clarify a little bit, these are not people who have been apprehended by Border Control and they're then being taken to the bridge. These are Haitians that are coming over the Mexican border. They're just walking across the Rio Grande, which is about knee deep right now, and they are stopping as soon as they get over the border and waiting to be picked up by Border Patrol so that they can put in their application as a refugee. Well, Border Control has no place to put them, and so they're just letting them stay under the bridge, and they have designated it as a staging area and a temporary holding area for these refugees. And as you can see from the pictures, we're not talking about just a few people. From the reports that I read, there's over 9,000 people under that bridge right now.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's, that's a lot of people. That's a whole lot of people. Sister, that story, tell us more about it.
Well, the only thing else I can really say about it, because Border Patrol is never really open about their tactics and what they're doing. And this is something that really just broke this morning. The only thing that I can say about it is that Border Patrol is prioritizing families with children. So if they see a family with small children under the bridge, They're trying to get them out as soon as possible. But there's just so many that the system is overwhelmed right now. And there are more large migrant groups coming. They're coming by bus. The bus stops on one side of the Rio Grande. The people get off, they walk across the river, and they park themselves under this bridge. And, it's a situation that really nobody knows how to handle.
Sister, I'm seeing this, that, and I'm trying to look at it while we're broadcasting. It really looks horrible. I can't imagine it. That's in Del Rio. I was in. I remember where Del Rio is. It's up toward the. It's more north than the tip of Texas. It's more north and west from there, and Del Rio means of the river. Literally translated, of the river, because it is right on the Rio Grande, and that's why the people are coming there. But it's strange to me, why are the people from Haiti going into Mexico and then coming up? Maybe I don't know.
It's the easiest way for them to get here based on the trafficking, that what they call coyotes. Coyotes are illegal traffickers of people that bring people over the border. And so the coyotes already have their routes that have been determined to be at least somewhat safe through Mexico. And so it's easier for the Haitians and people from other countries to go through Mexico rather than try to go over open waters and come into Florida or Louisiana or any other state that's there on the Gulf. What makes this a very interesting situation is the United States has a deal in place right now that with Haiti, that they will not expatriate people back to Haiti. And that's because of the political turmoil and stuff like that since the assassination of the president. And so all of these Haitians can't be brought back to Haiti, and Mexico is refusing to take them back. And so they've got nowhere to send them. And they're trying to decide what to do, because we also have protocol involved right now where people are not supposed to be allowed over the border because of COVID-19 concerns. And so these people are stuck. They're stuck between various decrees that have been put out by our government, and there's really no answer for it.
Yeah, I can see real quick that this is a huge problem. It's something that I didn't have an idea really about this, so I wasn't prepared today to even talk about it. My goodness! Oh my goodness! This is amazing. Amazing. Oh, dear.
And I think those shots that you're showing right now of the shelters, I don't believe that's at the Rio Grande. I believe those are shelters in Haiti itself from the people that had to escape their homes from the earthquake that happened recently.
Okay, I don't know about that, but Haiti, the Haitians here on this picture, I got to show you. All right, so it's saying here that this is at Bellefontaine in Haiti. Okay, so that is the folks that didn't get to come over here. They stayed there where they were. All right, so that's the I need to clarify these pictures so that you know the difference between what's Texas. Okay, here's one. This is, again, this is in Haiti. You see all the umbrellas? Everybody's got an umbrella or a tent. I guess it's pretty hot over there.
This is a good opportunity to talk about what is Islam's stance on the status of refugees.
Okay. Now, you opened up a very good subject with that. I'd like to show everybody about this. Let me put it up on the screen. Let's see. Chapter 9, verse 6, if I'm not making a mistake. Yeah, this is the verse.
وإن أحد من المشركين استجارك فأجره حتى يسمع كلام الله ثم أبلغه مأمنه ذلك بأنهم قوم لا يعلمون.
And if any one of the polytheists seeks your protection, then grant him protection so that he may hear the words of Allah. Then deliver him to his place of safety. That is because they are a people who do not know.
All right, you couldn't see it very good on the screen, and that's because it wasn't set up ahead of time. It takes about an hour to go through and set everything up for this, and if I didn't know we were going to do it. Anyway, that's enough excuses. The point that I'm trying to make here is that Islam is very keen about this. If any one of the mushrikeen, it says mushrikeen right in the verse, but what is a polytheist or an idolater or somebody that's a non-Muslim? Okay, if they seek your protection, it says real clear, then grant them the protection so that they can hear the words of Allah. And then deliver them back to a place of safety. So if they come to you and they're having these kind of difficulties, then grant them that opportunity to come and just be there until something is safe, and then allow them to go back. That is what it says. Sister?
It would be, inshallah, one of these days we have that opportunity to grant refuge to everybody that needs refuge. And I ask Allah to grant refuge to everybody who needs it, because there are people who are coming here every day from the worst of circumstances.
And that's very true, very true.
I don't think that a lot of people really understand not only what these people are coming from, but what they have to go through to get to the United States. People coming up from South America have to traverse, there's one area, and I don't remember what it's called, but it's about 30 miles of jungle. That if you so much as stray off the path, you're dead because of swamps and the poisonous snakes and everything like that. And these people are at risk of human trafficking. They're at risk of sexual exploitation. They're at risk of being taken advantage of by the people that they're trusting to get them north. I mean, they go through so much to get here, and they're turned away. And I'm not going to say whether or not everybody who comes is entitled to a place here. I won't go that far.
Well,
but
you can if you want to, but I wouldn't recommend it because it's not. Yeah, go ahead.
But a lot greater than peace and safety. That's all I can say.
Yeah. One of the things that we were speaking about this just a little while ago is and I want to come back to that topic, that whenever we want to give an analogy, we don't need to include ourselves or anybody by name. Just a person or a group of people or a woman or a man or a child. You can describe them with pronouns like that, but not necessarily with saying somebody's particular name or their position or something like that. Even some of the things that we've said on the air are not necessarily Islamic, because we're not supposed to even make fun of leaders of any country, because they do have a very big responsibility. Any leader. I don't care what your opinion is about the leader, but Islam is telling us real crystal clear that when somebody is a leader, then you pray for them instead of praying against them. Don't curse them, pray for them. And that makes a lot of sense, because everybody's human, everybody's given to mistakes, and everybody has the possibility of becoming a good person. Even if they were the worst of the worst of the worst, they can still become the best of the best of the best if they do certain things, like set their course internally properly, and set their mind and their spiritual and, of course, the physical. They've got to do this, but then they could be much better than me, better than any of us, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God Almighty, He looks at the intention of a person. And if they're intending to go the good way, then they're already on that by their intention. I'd like to mention that. Anyway, go ahead, sister.
Oh, thank you. No, I think I'd already made my point about as good as I could. But one thing that I would recommend to our viewers, if you are going to, and I encourage everybody to do your own research and look up these subjects yourselves. But I encourage everybody, especially in today's media world, get it from multiple sources. Don't just rely on your favorite newspaper or something like that, because I'll be the first one to say that they are very often politically bent. And especially by looking at international sources for news on the United States, you often get a more impartial view of what is going on, because they don't have to worry about the repercussions from their readership. So, you know, as you're looking at these things, step away from the politics and take an overall view of the subject so that you can get the biggest picture. One of my favorite sayings is that for any story, there's my side, there's your side, and somewhere in the middle is the truth. And you can apply that to media today.
Well, I see something that's right in front of the Capitol here. It says Muslim ban violates religious discrimination. I think that's what it says. I can't read it all because it's cut off. But this is exactly the thing that Muslims need to be aware of, that we do have a voice. And our voice here right now, and if you didn't realize this, that's what we're doing right now on the television. You're watching us talking about subjects. And if you have a subject to talk about, this is a great place, as good as any, to go ahead and talk about the situation that you see. Now, for instance, right here in the West, in America especially, but all of Western Europe, we see people accepting Islam right and left. So Islam is growing faster, even though all of this other news is going on. They're maybe concerned a little bit too much with all of the different kind of vaccines, they're not talking about how many people are leaving religion and how many of those leaving are coming into Islam. One of the things that I heard from a source, I don't want to say it's a reliable source, but is that when the Christians are reporting about this, they say somebody left Christianity, but they don't tell you if they became a Hindu or a Buddhist or a Muslim. They don't say, they just say that they left Christianity. And as far as they're concerned, and I can see that they're say this person is a non-believer, even though they have another faith, but they treat them like non-believers. So, sister, I think we're about to run out of time here. If you got anything else, this is a good time to talk about it.
One that I would like to mention is, and you might want to look this up, is the report of the Hilton going to build a hotel on the space that in China that was previously occupied by a masjid that was bulldozed by the Chinese government. And I can never pronounce their right, and I apologize for this. Is it Uyghurs?
Uyghur. Say it with a W, like we are. Uyghur.
Oh, Uyghur. Okay.
Yeah. It's W-E-G-E-R.
Okay,
Uyghur.
Uyghur.
I don't know why they have the X and all of the rest of it, but...
So they're going to build a Hilton hotel in a place where the Chinese government has bulldozed a masjid.
Yeah,
And
I did find that. Let me see if I can't bring it up. It says China inks a deal with Hilton to build hotel over a bulldozed Uyghur mosque. And here, that's not a very good image of it, is it? I don't know how we can, and the New York Post wants us to sign up if we're going to do anything. Well, okay, that's fine. I don't need to do that. Let's see what we can find out. Okay. Anything you click on will take you to ads that everybody wants to sell you something. Yes, sir. That's always the case. Well, it says, call on Hilton to cancel hotel project on site of bulldozed Uyghur mosque. Stop enabling China's Uyghur genocide. I don't know that Hilton will even consider listening to us talking about that. But maybe, who knows? If you don't try, then obviously you won't succeed. So, yeah, I guess if you know how to contact the people at Hilton that actually run the Hilton, not a local guy that's trying to clean up or a lady working behind the desk or something like that at a hotel, but actually this might be a good idea, talking to the Hilton people to cancel this project. They've got a lot of hotels and they don't need to make 1/4 of the world's population mad at them right about now, considering Islam is the one that's growing and other religions are decreasing. So if you would like to have a religious gathering at a place, any place on the earth that says Hilton, you might want to be...
We have a phone call. It's exciting. Oh, answer the phone. Answer the phone.
This is from our...
call.
Yeah.
The phone is ringing. We have a phone call.
They're telling us we got to go off the air. All right. So, sister, tell everybody what to do.
Stay tuned and stay guided with Guidus TV.
Yeah. Yusuf Estes, and I'm looking for something. Actually, I'm looking for someone. Is that someone you? I want Dawah partners, and you can be my Dawah partner right now. It's real easy. Just go to dawahpartners.com, sign up, and join me. There are 3 things that I would like for you to be able to do. Any one of them or all of them. Beautiful. Number 1, you will make dua. So you can be our Dawah partner, even if you don't go to the website, but I hope you do. Number 2, share. Share this message and let other people know about becoming Dawah partners. And number 3, help us financially. Donate on a monthly basis, even if it's small. Allah loves the thing that you do regularly, even if it's small, more than the thing that you do that's really big, but you only do it once. Join me as a Dawah partner. Do it now. Click, 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 click.